Hey guys, Alex Khan here, and I want to do a little review, give you my thoughts on the TV series Cobra Kai, which is currently only 2 seasons long, and this show actually started off on YouTube. And when I started it, I only started the first episode on YouTube, but at some point, you had to pay for to watch the rest of these episodes on YouTube. So it wasn't until more recently, when the show was imported to Netflix, that I was finally able to watch the show. Uh, but yeah, it was basically my friend who was like, "Hey man, you got to watch this show called Cobra Kai," and I already started it, and I really liked what I saw. I just never got around to picking it back up. So I finally watched it on Netflix. I started on Tuesday. I finished the entire first season on Tuesday, and then on season two, on Wednesday, I sat down, and by the time I got back up, I was already done with season two. So I binge watched each season all in one sitting, respectively. So this show, if you guys don't know what Cobra Kai is, it's basically a continuation of the Karate Kid franchise, and there was a Karate Kid. There was a Karate Kid 2, a Karate Kid 3, and then there was, like, I think it's called the New Karate Kid or the Next Karate Kid. And then finally you had the Karate Kid with Jackie Chan. And I got to tell you guys, kind of off topic, but every one of those movies were fantastic. Even the one with Jackie Chan. I know a lot of people dismissed the Jackie Chan movie because it was more of a Chinese theme. But if you guys don't know what the meaning of Kung Fu and Karate are, then I think you only have a rudimentary knowledge, because in Asia those terms have a more broad category. So the Karate Kid with Jackie Chan, it still made a lot of sense given the title. And honestly, even though I love all the movies, I would rate the Jackie Chan Karate Kid movie higher than Karate Kid 3 and higher than the next Karate Kid, to be perfectly honest. But I digress. Oh yeah, there was also a cartoon series, which I don't remember that one too well. But I want to talk about the Cobra Kai series, and this show is fantastic. And I want to talk about this show without giving you any major spoilers, because a lot of the great moments in this show had quite a build up. So if I just told you what happened, that would ruin the build up for you guys. So I'll let you guys watch it, because it's definitely worth watching. Before I start, I do want to say that this is probably my favorite series on Netflix for 2020. Yeah, I do think that's the case in this. But yeah, Cobra Kai. When you start with the first Karate Kid movie, you have Daniel LaRusso. He basically gets his butt handed to him by this karate school called Cobra Kai. So Cobra Kai is basically the bad guys in the first Karate Kid movie. It's not until later on, when Pat Morita trains Daniel LaRusso, that Daniel LaRusso is able to stand up to the Cobra Kai. But it's established in the very first movie that Cobra Kai is really bad, and you meet some really bad Cobra Kai members, such as Johnny. And Johnny is actually the star of the Cobra Kai series. You got Johnny, and you also have Daniel LaRusso. So, sorry, my nose is really itchy. I promise my finger's not going to my nose. It's just going around it. But, yeah. Cobra Kai is set in modern times, but it shows what happened to these characters after all these years. So, you got Johnny, you got the story of Daniel, and it's cool to see where they are in life at this point. And they did a really good job of predicting where these characters would have been had the story kept on going. So without giving you any major spoilers, Daniel LaRusso, he ends up owning a really big car dealership franchise. And then as for Johnny, he takes all these odd jobs, working on like repairs and other kinds of stuff. But he finally gets the idea to start up Cobra Kai again. And that's basically when this whole series starts to really kick off. Kick off. Now, here's the problem with Cobra Kai. Their motto is, strike fast, strike hard, no mercy. That's the way their motto is in this show as well. And I won't go into any more spoilers about that, but basically Cobra Kai starts off again with the same mentality as it had in the first movie. So there's a lot of bad encounters with the Cobra Kai. But you're going to see that a lot of good people join Cobra Kai and a lot of bad people join Cobra Kai. They're not really good and bad, though. These are people who are basically kind of like victims of circumstances. Like, a lot of these people are being bullied. So at first, you're feeling sorry for these people, and then later on you find out they're in Cobra Kai, so they are now the bullies, so now you don't feel sorry for them. It's a really tough dynamic, and this is what I like about this show. This show takes pretty much all these assortment of characters, and even though they're doing bad things or good things, you kind of like them all. Or there's like one or two people that you don't like, period. I mean, you might like them, but I don't like them, period. And I won't tell you who they are. I'll let you guys figure that out. But yeah, there's a lot of sympathetic characters, and they get drawn into Cobra Kai. And if you guys remember Karate Kid 3, Daniel LaRusso was also in Cobra Kai at one point. So Cobra Kai is basically the dark side of karate, and it's easy to be seduced by Cobra Kai because of all their their visual and exhibitions of their powers, of their martial abilities. So it's easy to get seduced by Cobra Kai. Because a lot of what they do put on display, especially when they go to the tournament. So season 1 is basically about setting up Cobra Kai and you meeting all these characters. And some of the key characters in this movie, they are offsprings of Daniel LaRusso and also the offspring of Johnny as well. And that's what I like about this movie. It kind of reminds me of those dynastic struggles where the offsprings, they either follow in the footsteps of their parents or they don't follow in the footsteps of their parents, but they are still drawn into these age-old conflicts that involve their parents. So that's what I liked about Karate Kid. It was very real. It was very, very gritty. And a lot of the stuff that you see, especially in season 2, it gets really, 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 really gritty. And at times I was like, whoa, how are they going to recover from that? So as I said, season 1 is more about how Cobra Kai starts to establish itself. With season 2, you see Cobra Kai kind of fluctuate in its development. And then all throughout both seasons, you see how all these different characters interact with each other. And that's another charm of this series, is seeing how these characters interact with each other, because there's a really complicated dynamic with each of these characters and there are many different types of relationships with each other. Because some characters are friends with other characters who are bad. And then you have some characters, I mean, God, it's just so complicated to talk about. It's a very complex set of relationships. I mean, not like love relationships, even though those are also out there too, but also platonic relationships. But it's just amazing how they balance all this out. And it's also amazing how they make you like every one of these characters. So it's a freaking amazing series. And what I really like about this show is they bring back these filming locations from the first Karate Kid movie, and they bring back the same actors from the first movie. It is nostalgia for me. And oh man, it's so hard to say, but I think right now my favorite characters are Daniel LaRusso and Johnny. But with Johnny, I get so much nostalgia with him because a lot of the things that he likes are things that I still like cars, women, and then all the music he listens to. And oh, by the way, all the music that you hear in this TV show is also, retro to the first movie. It's just amazing hearing all these old songs. And I think this show does a really good job of bringing the 80s back in some ways, the same way that Stranger Things kind of did it. Well, not the same way, but in different respects. Because again, Karate Kid does take place in modern times. I can't say which season's better. They're all fantastic. And by the way, I keep looking at my microphone because the battery is dying right now. It's flashing. Just want to make sure I'm still recording. But Both seasons are very important. My friend likes season two more. I kind of like them both because season one, you get introduced to all the characters, and then season two, there's even more characters and there's more character development. There's a lot of complexity with these characters, and you don't know who to cheer for, guys. It's like Game of Thrones, which is also referenced in the show. Sometimes these characters that you like become bad. Sometimes these bad characters become good, and it's really confusing for people. And that's the way real life really is. Not everything is black and white. A lot of people are right there in the middle. You don't know what they are, and it's confusing. That's the way humans are. They're very complex people. So, yeah, right now this is definitely my top favorite series on Netflix, and I might go back and watch it again. Actually, I'm very compelled to watch the whole Karate Kid franchise again, especially the first movie, so I can see these places that they keep flashbacking to. And when they did flashback to Daniel LaRusso and Johnny, I can't believe how young they are in the first Karate Kid movie. They look like kids. When I watched that movie as a kid, they looked like they were like grown-ups, because when I was a kid they were a bit older than myself. So to see them looking like kids, wow, that was crazy, very crazy. So highly recommend this series, and you definitely got to watch it if you're a Karate Kid fan, especially the first Karate Kid movie. And if you're just a person who's looking for a very well-written TV show with complex characters, you definitely got to see this. And of course the action is pretty good too.